Hello, friends. For good and bad reasons, tariffs have been making headlines lately. But what exactly are tariffs and why do they matter? Often confused with customs duties, tariffs are taxes imposed by governments on imported or exported goods. They serve multiple purposes. For instance, they help protect domestic industries by making foreign goods more expensive. They generate revenue for the government. Governments can also use them to regulate trade policies. And yes, they weaponize tariffs to retaliate against unfair trade practices by other countries. Tariffs and custom duties, while related, are distinct. Tariffs are a broad category of trade related taxes, while customs duties are a specific type of tariff applied at the border when goods enter or leave a country. For instance, customs duties in India include the basic customs duty, integrated goods and services tax, which is also known as IGST, anti dumping duty, countervailing duty, and social welfare surcharge. The government uses these duties to protect domestic industries, offset foreign subsidies, and fund social welfare schemes within the country. As mentioned before, tariffs play a crucial role in shaping a country's economy, trade policies, and international relations. One of their primary functions is protecting domestic industries. For instance, the United States of America imposed tariffs on Chinese steel and aluminum in 2018 to shield its domestic producers from what it deemed unfairly subsidized imports. Higher import costs from tariffs benefit local producers, as shown by Apple and Samsung's Indian production. Tariffs are an important source of government revenue, contributing significantly to national budgets. In many African nations, such as Nigeria, tariffs on imported goods play a vital role in financing public services because of the limited reach of direct taxation. Another key benefit of tariffs is their ability to reduce trade deficits. For example, Argentina, in response to chronic trade imbalances, has frequently relied on import tariffs to curb excessive reliance on foreign products and promote domestic consumption. Similarly, Brazil has imposed tariffs on automobiles and machinery to protect local industries and reduce dependency on imports. In certain cases, tariffs are also essential for safeguarding national security, particularly in industries critical for defense and infrastructure. Japan, for instance, maintains high tariffs on agricultural products to ensure food security and reduce vulnerability to external supply chain disruptions. The United States of America, under the guise of national security, imposed tariffs on Chinese telecommunication equipment, citing concerns over potential espionage risks. Moreover, tariffs help governments retaliate against unfair trade practices such as foreign subsidies, dumping, or restrictive trade barriers. The European Union imposed anti dumping duties on Chinese solar panels in 2013, arguing that Beijing was flooding the market with cheap state subsidized products that threatened European manufacturers. Similarly, India has repeatedly levied anti dumping duties on Chinese steel to protect its domestic industry from predatory pricing. Countries use counter tariffs to negotiate better trade deals, exemplified by the United States of America and China trade war. Tariffs present both advantages and disadvantages, and their effects vary according to implementation methods. Increased tariffs on imported goods raise retail prices, making consumer and luxury items more expensive. For instance, high tariffs on luxury cars make brands like BMW and Mercedes Benz significantly costlier in India compared to other markets. Similarly, when the United States of America imposed tariffs on Chinese imports during the trade war of 2018-2019, American consumers faced higher prices on everyday goods such as electronics and household appliances. A study by the Federal Reserve estimated that these tariffs led to an annual cost increase of about $1,277 per household. In Argentina, high import duties on consumer electronics have made smartphones and laptops unaffordable for many, leading to a thriving black market for these products. Overprotection can lead to inefficiency and stagnation in domestic industries. A historical example is India's license Raj in the pre 1991 years. Heavy tariffs and bureaucratic restrictions discouraged competition, resulting in poor quality domestic products. The economy only became competitive after liberalization in 1991. A similar situation existed in Latin America, where Brazil's high tariffs on automobile imports in the 1980s let inefficient domestic manufacturers thrive without innovation. It was only after trade liberalization in the 1990s that Brazilian car manufacturers improved quality and competitiveness. Likewise, in post World War II Japan, tariff protections initially helped domestic industries grow, but overprotection in certain sectors like agriculture led to inefficiency and dependence on government support. Higher import duties on essential goods can contribute to inflation and increase the cost of living. For example, India has repeatedly raised import duties on edible oils and fuel, leading to higher prices for consumers. In Turkey, import tariffs on wheat and other agricultural products have contributed to food inflation, aggravating economic hardships. Similarly, when the United Kingdom imposed post Brexit tariffs on certain European imports, it led to price hikes on food and consumer goods, which intensified inflationary pressures in the market. Tariffs under the Trump administration also raised costs for domestic manufacturers, indirectly increasing the prices of automobiles and construction materials. Tariffs play a crucial role in reducing India's dependence on foreign goods, fostering domestic manufacturing, and prompting industrial diversification. A prime example is the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, under which the government raised import duties on electronic goods, mobile components, and defense equipment. This policy encouraged major companies like Apple, Samsung, and Foxconn to expand manufacturing in India, reducing reliance on imports. In the defense sector, higher tariffs on imported military hardware have accelerated domestic production. India has since developed Tejas fighter jets, BrahMos missiles, and the K9 Vajra artillery system, strengthening its defense capabilities while reducing dependency on foreign suppliers. Historically, India has faced a trade deficit, especially with China, which remains its largest trading partner. To address this, India has imposed higher tariffs on Chinese imports such as steel, electronics, and chemicals. In 2020, amid border tensions, India banned or increased duties on several Chinese products, reducing imports and pushing domestic alternatives. For example, higher tariffs on Chinese televisions spurred growth in India's manufacturing sector, with companies like Dixon Technologies and Micromax ramping up local production. Similarly, duties on Chinese steel imports protected Indian firms like Tata Steel and JSW Steel, fostering self sufficiency and fairer competition. To conclude, tariffs are a double edged sword. While they boost domestic economies, they simultaneously increase costs, hurt global trade, and damage foreign relations. Countries must carefully balance protectionism with open trade, ensuring tariffs promote industrial growth without undermining global competitiveness. A well calibrated tariff policy that safeguards key sectors while fostering international cooperation can drive long term economic stability. Tariffs shield local industries but also disrupt global supply chains and raise production costs. For instance, India's tariffs on imported semiconductor components have made domestic electronics manufacturing more expensive, affecting industries reliant on affordable imports. Higher tariffs can reduce overall trade volumes, impacting businesses dependent on imports and exports. A notable example is India's increased import duties on palm oil from Indonesia and Malaysia in 2019, which led to diplomatic tensions and forced India to seek alternative suppliers. Beyond economics, tariffs function as strategic instruments influencing diplomatic negotiations and trade policies. Negotiators often employ them to gain leverage in discussions, enforce trade rules, and counter unfair practices. India uses tariffs to protect its steel industry and balance free trade agreements. However, excessive tariff hikes can destabilize economies and sour diplomatic ties. This was evident when India's tariffs on Chinese goods amid growing border tensions in 2020 escalated economic hostilities between the two nations, leading to strained trade relations. As global trade dynamics evolve, understanding the broader impact of tariffs will be crucial in shaping our economic future.